What's up, peeps? My name's Ian. I try to sell books on eBay. And a couple of things to talk about today. Atrocious sales, banging supermarket community bookstall pickup, and another pretty good pickup. Expensive, but I think it's worth it. So let's just tell you about all of that. Starting with the sales. I had like 5 orders going out this morning. They're all done, dusted, packed. A wee bundle of Dillycourt, a wee bundle of Ian Rankin, a wee bundle of Mills and Boons, a wee bundle of Marion Keys, and a single hardcover. And that was it. It's like £50 worth of sales yesterday. So that's 2 days in a row with really bad sales. So for 2 whole days work, I've made about 30 quid, which is not very good. But no panic. Things go up, things go down. It's just been, instead of a dip, it's more like a cliff that it feels like it's fallen off in the last few days. Went average this month, or over the last month, it's been about £160 a day in sales, which I know is better than what some people are getting, and it's a lot worse than what other people are getting, but that's where my average has been, and it's been, fairly consistent. The odd wee bit below that, the odd wee bit above that. The last few days until kind of yesterday and the day before, it was sitting around kind of £130 to £140 a day, so that's a bit below the average, which is fine. That's a good 15-20% below where I would like to be, but then the last 2 days it's been like 50 and 60 quid, which is just gone. So I now need, in the second half of the month, my usual average days and a couple of days which will be higher sales than I ever get. So it's really annoying to have been smashed down again over a couple of days. You know the feeling, everybody knows the feeling. You're up, you're down. You get a day like that and you go, that's alright, tomorrow will be better. You get 2 days like that and you begin to think, if I get a third day like that, is it worth it? So far today there has been nothing in, and that's us nearly halfway through the day, so that's again a bit of a worry. But I did go and have a wee look at some of the other information that eBay so kindly provides, and I've been trying to spot where things have changed, what's going different. I've not done anything particularly different. Around about the 10th of March, I put all my everything onto promoted listings, following eBay's recommended dynamic rate, so they'll move it about and keep it at that optimum. And at that point, I had a wee increase in, my impressions, etc., therefore page views, and then the sales began to pick up again a few days after that. What I have noticed is that on the 9th of April, my impressions have plummeted. So that's 1 month, almost exactly 1 month after putting on the, increasing the promoted listings. It's really dropped by kind of 20-25% impressions consistently every day compared to where it was at the same point in the previous month. So that's kind of worrying. The fact that it coincides with when I put those promoted listings up. So if I had a good month out of it, and now they're going, nah, you've had your turn, it's gone. I don't know. Has all eBay traffic been down? I don't know. But impressions, therefore page views, therefore sales, have all seen the same decrease across that piece. And again, this isn't a complaint. I'm using the platform. The exposure you can get on eBay is great, but the thing that's difficult is the not knowing. So if in the past many years ago, managed a shop within a shopping centre, and every day they could tell you, not on the day, but within a couple of days, they would come round, you get your wee notice telling you what the footfall had been, how many people had come in the door, etc. So if you had a bad day, and typically there would be, say, 70,000 people would come through the centre on a day, but there'd only been 20,000 on that day for whatever reason, and your sales were half of what you would normally expect, you understood where that was. So then when it comes round to rent renewals and the rest of it, you've got that debate. What is your proposed footfall? What's the shopping centre doing to bring people in to get that footfall moving? So on. And you could plan around that, and if they're saying, well, we're not going to do anything to get any more people and that's what you've got, then it's not getting the same value, therefore it's not worth paying the same to get that through. eBay is obviously different from that. It is not a shopping centre. It is a website. It's an e-commerce site. But we're not private sellers, business sellers, and we pay them a monthly rent, you know, for your shop front and so many listings. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money, so I'm not having a go at that as such, but £90 a month for that business front, that's what's getting paid. So for that, what I would like to know is what's the traffic like, what's the footfall like across eBay UK. I don't care about what's happening in like America or Australia or Poland or wherever. eBay UK is obviously my 99.9% market, so that's what I'm interested in. So if they can come out and say, well, actually our traffic has dipped by about 20% over the last, you know, week to 10 days, then that would go in line with what's happening to my own traffic and my own sales. And you're able to say, well, what are you doing to remedy that? Because if I'm paying that £90, I expect the same standard, the same level throughout for that £90. So what are you doing to, you know, increase that traffic? They might be able to come back and say, well, actually this is an annual occurrence, which it might well be. I'm not disputing that in the slightest. And this is what we would expect. But when I'm signing up, that's what I want to know. I want to know that, right, eBay in January, we expect this much, February, March, April, May, June, all the way through to December. This is the kind of traffic we're expecting. This is what we're doing to drive it. And this is what you will gain from that traffic coming to our website. But if they don't tell you that, I don't know that. So I don't know that in April, they're expecting a 20-30% reduction in footfall traffic. If I do know that, and I know that in advance, that that's the expectation, then I need to be looking elsewhere to say, right, well, my income is going to reduce by up to 30% for that period. So what can I do to mitigate against that? You know, where else can I find ways of generating and bringing that income in? Without that expectation, forewarning, knowledge, you can't take action. All you can do is keep doing what you're doing and then scratch your head because you're not getting the expected results. So eBay, what is your traffic? What is your trend? I'm quite sure I could go and do lots of wee Googles and get information and opinions, but I want this from the source. I don't want to know what somebody else is going in and analysed and worked out. I want to know what is happening, because then I can plan ahead. Do they expect, you know, from say mid-April to mid-May there to be a dip and then things to go back up to a kind of average point? Is there a spike on August the 2nd? You know, where does that typically see? What can we expect? And we know that these are not like accurate forecasts, but they've got a lot of years of data. They know what they're doing in their marketing. They have got an idea of what that marketing, etc., brings in. So therefore, what is the expectation? If, on the other hand, they come around and say, well, no, our traffic has been perfectly normal across that piece, then why am I paying the extra money to get a decrease in impressions? If people don't want to buy my stuff when they've seen it, that's a different matter. That's down to me. But getting it in front of those people, if I'm paying the money, then I expect that to be consistent or consistently in line with the overall flow of visitors to eBay. So that's what I want to know. I hope that wasn't too much of a ramble and makes sense. But without that information, it's really difficult to plan. And say, if I was just a private seller selling the odd bits and pieces, with a wee bit of a side hustle, you know, sell a pair of jeans so I can go and buy myself a new jacket, that's another thing completely. But I'm not, they've advertised to business sellers. I've signed up as a business seller. Therefore, I want to know what's going on with their business so I can plan my own business around that. If every month you don't know when those sales are going to drop off a cliff because you don't know what's happening, you can't plan. It's not sustainable. You need to find other ways of managing that, which I keep getting tempted to do, and then thinking, no, eBay's probably just the best way to go forward. Time and effort and the balance, but only if it's going to stay at that minimal level, which makes it survivable and sustainable. Anyway, enough of that. Stop. Sales, told you what they were. They weren't very good. There was nothing hugely interesting going out, so not a lot to share. But I did go and do a wee pickup yesterday. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll know that I had hoped to end up in one of a couple of places, and I finished up kind of close. So I took a wee 10-mile detour, wasn't that far, over to West Kilbride, the bookshop in West Kilbride, which is a charity shop. It's North Ayrshire Cancer Care, I think, but they've just got a standalone bookshop, and they're not expensive, don't get me wrong, but they're not the cheap, you know, 4 or 5 for £1 type bookshop. They've got, typically it's kind of £1 or so for a paperback, a couple of quid for a hardcover. But I love going in there because they've got so many that you can buy lots of the same, and there's usually a good selection of fantasy and such. So yesterday, you know, a couple of Robin Hobbs, start making up a collection there. A George Lucas novel, which turns out it's worth a few quid. Not a lot, but a few quid. You probably can't see behind, but if I tilt that, see all of this? It's all James Patterson, John Grisham, Dilly Court, a couple of other authors. But because they had so many by the same author, I was able to grab, you know, 40 odd John Grishams, 30 plus James Patterson, about a dozen Dilly Courts, a stack of Nora Roberts and Joe Nesbo and Val McDermott, but not a huge number of different authors, but a lot from each author, which meant I can get them listed so quickly. So in an hour and, well, just under an hour and a half, £800 worth of books listed, low value books, because I'm just adding them onto my variation listings. So that's been an absolute, you know, it's a big win from that point of view. You can get a lot up there. You're not going to make quite as much, but a lot more goes on. And again, because I went in and bought so many from them, they gave me a bit of a discount. So probably ended up paying, you know, some of them sell for like 50, or bought at the shop for 50p, 80p, £1. But the way it's worked out, I've probably paid round about 50 pence a book for everything that I picked up from all those paperbacks. So a couple of hundred paperbacks for about £100, more than I would usually pay, but I can get these listed so quickly and so easily, and it's all stuff that sells. So, you know, when I get big chunks of any of these authors, they do sell quite well, and I've still got another 20, 40, maybe another 80 or 90 books to list from all of my pickups yesterday, because I also went to another wee place where they were doing 3 for £1, and took a big bag out of there, so another 50, 60 books, sorry, 45 books it was from them. I went into the Tesco, well, I went to Tesco anyway to get my dinner, you know, and they had a big stack of donations that had just come in for a community bookstall, so I bought a whole load there. Again, that's typically kind of 50 pence a book, but one of the ones I found there was this dude, The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. So I thought, oh, that's a wee old hardcover Tolkien. It's a wee bit manky. Now I opened it up, it's got somebody's Angela Fannington or Farrington, Edinburgh, September 1965. So, oh, that's promising. Got into it a wee bit further, and it is first edition, 11th impression. I don't know if you can see that, but it's on the page there. Which was like, oh, that's nice. Checked. It has the map that's in really good clean condition. A couple of wee creases where it's been folded funny inside the book, but otherwise pretty good nick. Now this had the hardcover and it was in good condition, potentially a few £100. It doesn't have the dust jacket. The case is a wee bit bashed and bruised, but it's not in bad condition. It's still got a wee bit of colouring along the top, and see the map is included, so I really don't know what it could sell for, so I've just stuck on as an auction. So we started it at £50 and see what happens there. But yeah, a really nice wee find, just sitting in the supermarket community bookstall. Who'd have thunk it? So always, where there are books, it is worth having a look. You just never know what somebody's chucked in a bag, stacked up and gotten rid of. But yeah, so The Two Towers by Mr. John Reynold Roger Ronald Tolkien. that one. So hopefully it'll sell, and hopefully it'll sell for a wee bit more than 50 quid, but we'll just have to wait and see. Also, for myself, I found another Robert Harris for the collection. It says £2 in the front, but I think I ended up paying £1. We first edition of Imperium by Robert Harris. So I need to do a wee bit of rejigging. Actually, no, it'll just about fit on the shelf there just now, to make sure I can add that to it. And a wee Stephen King. Was this a firstie? Yeah, first edition Stephen King, Holly. So, do I have this? No, I had it. So this, I didn't finish The Stand because it was boring. I didn't finish Holly because it was boring. But if I want to have the collection, if I can pick it up for £1, why not? I did buy it when it came out, so I paid full whack. It was Mince, so I sold it, probably on eBay. I got a wee bit of my money back. I haven't only read half of it, but I very much doubt I'll pick this up and finish it again. But it's now there for the collection. So that was 2 books for the collection for £2 in total. Imperium was brilliant, Holly was utter trash, but I'm going for completeness on that side, so it'll do. And that's what we've got there. So yeah, not much more to talk about. I've got a wee bit more list than I'm going to do today, keeping the targets high. 477 listed yesterday, 358 this morning. It's, let's see, about an hour and a half in total to get nearly all of that done, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, nothing more. I'm away to just cross my fingers and my toes and anything else I can manage to hopefully have a sale today and make a wee bit of money and justify all of this nonsense that we put ourselves through. Love you. See ya. Bye.